But just as they were about to celebrate, a mysterious figure appeared on the opposite side of the river. It was Zuri, the sorceress, who had returned to exact her revenge. Zuri, her eyes blazing with fury, began to chant a spell. The waters around the raft churned violently, and the sky darkened as if in response to her malevolent incantation. The villagers watched in horror as Lumumba, once their protector, turned against Yoka. The great crocodile lunged at the raft, its jaws snapping shut with a thunderous crash on Yoka. In the village of Kalungi was a vast river teeming with life. The river was both a source of sustenance and a spiritual nexus for the villagers, who revered it as the lifeline of their existence. At the heart of their beliefs was the crocodile god Lumumba, who they believed ruled the waters and demanded absolute truth and reverence. Kalungi had a saying, "The river listens, the river sees, the river knows." This adage underscored their deep respect for the truth. Lies, deceit, and secrecy were not tolerated, and anyone caught in a lie faced severe punishment. The villagers believed that truth was the only way to remain in harmony with the river and their crocodile god. In this village lived a young woman named Yoka, known for her striking beauty and sharp intellect. Her family, however, carried a shadowed past. Her father, Kato, was a respected elder, but whispers of past misdeeds haunted his reputation. Despite this, Yoka loved her father dearly and believed in his inherent goodness. Yoka's mother had died under mysterious circumstances when Yoka was a child. The villagers had their suspicions, but no one dared speak ill of Kato directly. Yoka, determined to clear her family's name, often questioned the events surrounding her mother's death. Her persistence in seeking the truth made many in the village uneasy. One sweltering afternoon, as Yoka was gathering herbs by the river, she overheard a heated conversation between two elders. Hidden in the reeds, she listened intently as they spoke of a terrible secret that had been buried for years. According to their conversation, Kato had been involved in a clandestine affair with a powerful sorceress, Zuri, who had demanded sacrifices in exchange for prosperity and power. When Kato tried to break off the relationship, Zuri cursed his wife, leading to her untimely death. Shocked and horrified, Yoka confronted her father that evening. Kato, overcome with guilt and unable to bear the weight of his secrets any longer, confessed everything. He had indeed been involved with Zuri and had sought her aid to bring prosperity to the village. When he tried to end their illicit relationship, Zuri had turned vengeful and killed his wife in retaliation. Yoka was torn between love for her father and the need to reveal the truth to the village. She knew that hiding such a grave sin would only invite further misfortune upon them all. With a heavy heart, she decided that the truth must come to light, even if it meant her father's downfall. The next day, Yoka stood before the village council and revealed the dark secret her father had been hiding. The villagers were aghast. Kato, once a respected elder, was now seen as a man who had brought a curse upon them all. The elders decreed that cattle must be exiled, but they also turned their fury towards Yoka. In their eyes, her betrayal of her father was an even greater sin. She had not only dishonored her family, but had also jeopardized the village's delicate balance with the spirit world. The council decided that Yoka must face Lumumba's judgment. She was to be taken to the sacred crocodile pool, where the crocodile god would determine her fate. The villagers, though sympathetic to her plight, dared not oppose the elders' decision. They watched in sorrow as Yoka was led away, fearing the worst. Bound and helpless, Yoka was placed on a raft and pushed into the center of the crocodile pool. The waters were still, and the air was thick with tension. The villagers watched from the banks, their hearts heavy with dread. According to tradition, if the crocodiles left her unharmed, it would be a sign that Lumumba had accepted her truth and she would be spared. But if they attacked, it meant that she had brought a curse upon herself and the village. For what seemed like hours, Yoka floated in the pool, her eyes scanning the dark waters for any sign of the crocodiles. She prayed silently, hoping that her sacrifice would not be in vain. Suddenly, the water began to ripple, and the villagers gasped as a massive crocodile emerged from the depths. It was Lumumba, the sacred guardian of the river. To everyone's astonishment, Lumumba did not attack. Instead, he circled the raft, his eyes fixed on Yoka with an almost human understanding. The villagers watched in awe as the crocodile approached her, its massive jaws opening wide. But rather than devouring her, Lumumba gently nudged the raft, guiding it back to the shore. It seemed that the crocodile god had spared her life, acknowledging the purity of her intentions and the courage it took to reveal the truth. The villagers rejoiced, believing that Yoka's honesty had saved her. They hailed her as a heroine, one who had restored their faith in the power of truth. But just as they were about to celebrate, a mysterious figure appeared on the opposite side of the river. It was Zuri, the sorceress, who had returned to exact her revenge. Zuri, her eyes blazing with fury, began to chant a spell. The waters around the raft churned violently, and the sky darkened as if in response to her malevolent incantation. The villagers watched in horror as Lumumba, once their protector, turned against Yoka. The great crocodile lunged at the raft, its jaws snapping shut with a thunderous crash on Yoka. Yoka, in her final moments, locked eyes with her father on the shore. She saw the guilt and sorrow etched into his face, and she knew that her sacrifice was not in vain. As the crocodile dragged her beneath the water, she felt a strange sense of peace. Her death would break the curse and free her father from the sorceress's hold. The villagers, paralyzed with fear, could do nothing but watch as the rivers claimed Yoka. The sky cleared and the water returned to its calm state, but the village was left in shock and grief. Cattle, devastated by the loss of his daughter, fled into the forest, never to be seen again. Zuri, satisfied with her vengeance, vanished into the shadows, leaving a trail of darkness in her wake. Yoka's death was a stark reminder of the dangers of deception and the price of truth. The village of Kalungi, forever marked by the tragedy, vowed to honor her memory by upholding the truth, no matter the cost. They believed that Yoka's spirit would watch over them, a guardian of her honesty and integrity, ensuring that no such tragedy would ever befall them again. In the end, Yoka's story became a cautionary tale, a symbol of the eternal struggle between truth and deceit. Her sacrifice was a poignant reminder that while the truth may lead to suffering and loss, it is also the key to redemption and peace. And so the village of Kalungi continued to live by the river, honoring its wisdom and the memory of the brave woman who dared to tell the truth.